Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Vesuvius regular open meeting of council, 2 p.m. in council chambers on October the 11th, 2022. So first off, we will need the approval of the agenda, and there are no late items. Mrs. Hilton? No, there's not. Councillor King, Councillor Bennett, all in favor? Thank you. And the adoption of the minutes, the special open minutes from September the 26th, and the regular open minutes from September the 27th. We have a motion to accept those, please. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Harvey, all in favor. Thank you, everyone. And so we will move down. The next item is correspondence, and that would be the Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting. And that meeting was on October the 6th. And it was the last meeting that of the board members from this term. So first of all, a couple of things that are on here. One is that the Lake Vesuvius Lake Water Science Forum is planned for October 27th to the 29th. And there's information on there. Please know that local residents and students are certainly invited to this, and it's at the Sonora Center. It's there is a small cost, but it's only to pay for coffee and lunches. It's not to pay for the conference. If anybody wants to sign up, there is the link right there, www.obwb.ca/OLWSF, Vesuvius Lake Water Science Forum. Great information. It's basically Indigenous and Western approaches to knowledge, science, and the management of water. Be really good. The drought planning and response update, and there's lots of meetings at OBWB about this. Okanagan, most of it remains at a drought level 1, and that's a provincial levels now, and they go from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst. And I see on the news today that Vancouver and around there is at a level 5. So we are only at a level 1, mostly in the Okanagan, although in the South Okanagan, we're up to a level 3 because of some of the fish bearing streams are being monitored. Invasive mussel inspections. So the inspection stations were open from April to the end of September. 19,000 watercraft were inspected. Now that's mainly just going through and asking questions. Where have you been? Where are you going? If there's any red flags that show up, then they will be asked to pull over for a decontamination. They'll check on that. However, 12 of the watercraft were transporting adult invasive mussels. And it only takes, I mean, it might not take one, but it might just take one to have an infestation. So they're mostly from Ontario, Manitoba, and Quebec, destined for the lower mainland, which is not normally a problem because in salt water it doesn't have that calcium, the same calcium deposits that they would have here. And the tops of Nicola, Vancouver Island, but 4 of them were headed to the Okanagan, and that's the biggest concern. So at least they keep records on all of this, and actually we've asked, the OBWB has asked for more stations, more time with the stations, and a closer look, clean, drain, dry, and open your plugs and get rid of the water that's there. Anyway, it's a good campaign, and it's bringing a lot of awareness, and a lot more people know about it. So the Water Conservation and Quality Improvement Grant Program for 2023 has been approved by the board, and it certainly awards grants of up to $30,000 to Okanagan local governments, improvement districts, and nonprofits, with $350,000 total available. And certainly that anybody in this region can apply for grants. And since it was our last meeting of these directors, there were a couple of people who are retiring, including James Baker, who's retiring as the Lake Country Mayor. I think he's been the mayor there for about 25 years. I'm not surprised. And so the next meeting of the water board is not until January the 10th, because the regional districts of the three of them have to appoint 3 new members when they have their new boards in place. So that's why. So could we please have a motion to receive and file the latest correspondence? Thank you, Councillor Bennett, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you. And next we have a staff report from Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff is bringing forward a recommendation for council to authorize and approve the signatories to sign the lease with the Osoyoos Junior Hockey Incorporated for the purpose of operating a Junior B hockey team at the Sun Bowl Arena. Then it's for a 5-year term at a rate of $575 per game and an additional fee of $300 per game for the operation of the concession. At the regular meeting on September 27th, council passed a motion to authorize a notice to lease the aforementioned property to the Osoyoos Hockey Incorporated. Staff posted the intention to lease in 2 consecutive issues of the Times Chronicle and posted on the public notice posting board at the town office. Staff is bringing the draft lease back for council approval. This lease agreement will also be forwarded to the regional district of Okanagan-Similkameen for authorization once approved by council. Their current agreement with the Coyotes expires tomorrow, October 12th, and staff is bringing forward the draft lease for council's consideration. The current rate of $500 a game includes 3 hours of ice for the game plus 1.5 hours of practice 5 days a week. For the season, they play 22 home games and at least 3 exhibition games, and we received $12,500 in ice allocation fees. The team also utilizes the concession and they operate 7 months of the year at a rate of $250 a month, which we get $1,750 for the concession. Ice allocation and concession fees equal $14,250 for the year. And anything used above and beyond the game time or 1.5 hours are paid as per our fees and charges bylaw. The Coyotes use approximately 280 hours of ice per year. And based on a proposed increase to $575 a game, they will pay a total of $14,375, and the increase for the food concession to $300 per month will equal $2,100 for the months of operation. In terms of the options, for council to authorize and approve the signatories to sign the lease with the Osoyoos Junior Hockey for the purpose of operating a Junior B hockey team at the Sun Bowl Arena for a 5-year term at a rate of $575 per game and an additional fee of $300 per month for the operation of the concession. Option 2 for council not to approve the draft lease at this time. And option 3 for council to direct staff to bring back at a later time. In terms of the implications for the community, the Osoyoos Junior B hockey team has been supported by the community and is a great entertainment option. Organization, staff involvement with administering the agreement. Our budget, $16,475 in total revenue, including the food concession and anything extra for ice logos and rentals that are not part of the agreement. And of course, the CPI adjustment will be included each year. Significant dates, this current lease expires October 12th of this year. And sustainability. The Osoyoos Coyotes hockey team has been part of the community since 2009 and continues to be supported by local businesses and patrons. And
Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. I just had a question. You say that it's been part of the community since 2009, but what about the Heat and the hockey leagues that were here before? Is that not the same group?
no, that's different. Yes, that is correct.
But it was Mr. Bedard that was what ran those, I think.
No.
Oh.
It was different. Yeah.
He was
Mr.
involved?
Mr. Dewar was the owner of the Storm prior to that, and then I don't know.
The Heat was another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
the
right. Brad,
90s, I
Brad,
remember.
where is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I just have heard Randy Bedard's name for so long, I just thought he had owned it all the way along. Okay, my mistake. All right, council, what would you?
I move option 1.
All right, do I need to read option 1? It's quite a long involved. But does everybody have option one there? And Councillor Rhodes, you seconding it? Yeah? Okay, so
Yeah.
shall I read it? 'Cause maybe we need to. So recommendation for council to authorize and approve the signatories to sign the lease with the Students Junior Hockey Inc. for the purpose of operating a junior B hockey team on the land legally described as lot 57557 plan KAP 1949, District Lot 2450S, Similkameen Division Yale District, except Plan 27168, KAP 77569, PID, this is confusing. Hashtag 011-195-363, commonly referred to as the Sun Bowl Arena, for a 5-year term at a rate of $575 per game and an additional fee of $300 per month for the operation of the concession. So that's the recommendation, moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, next is the, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you very much.
Glad we had that done before tomorrow. So next is the general net payroll and Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts. General cash requirements as of October the 11th, 2022, in the amount of $551,396.68. Sun Bowl cash requirements of $24,882.07. And net payroll accounts of $114,450.87. So we have two options for council to receive those as referenced, or two to ask, request additional information. What would you like, council? Nobody wants to say anything? Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Councillor Harvey, you seconding that? Okay, thank you very much. All in favor? Thanks, everybody. And building permit. We see that there has been was slow, maybe it was too hot. 731,000 for the month of September. Demolition, 2 of those for residential house, new single family dwelling, a partial demo, a metal shed, and a wood burning appliance. So, did anyone have any questions about those ones? No, then could we please have a motion to receive the building report for information? Thank you, Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes. All in favor? Thank you. And next is bylaws. And it would be the permissive tax exemption bylaw. Are you doing that, Mr. Rising, or Mr. Zackel?
Mr. Zackel is on his way.
Oh, good, that's fine, we'll just wait for
This is a
him then.
continuation of the bylaw that came forward 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we actually advertised in the local papers, according to legislation was done. Copies of those ads are actually included within the package, and well indicated these are exactly the same changes as were passed last year. So administration basically requesting that the bylaw be approved, as there's no changes from 2022 to 2023. So the options are that permissive tax exemption bylaw 1380 2022 be adopted. And other options are to make amendments to the bylaw 1380 and bring back for council review consideration. Or 3, that the permissive tax exemption bylaw 1380 2022 be defeated. And administration is actually recommending to adopt the existing bylaw.
Okay, so before we do that, and I ask for that, does anybody have any questions about it? Because Mr. Zackel is here now and he would be able to answer those if we needed. No, all right, well, would somebody like to make the motion then, please?
Move option 1,
That the permissive
permissive tax
tax,
exemption bylaw 1380 222 be adopted.
thank you, is there a seconder for that? Councillor Bennett? No other questions, all in favor? Thank you very much. You got your
I'll forget.
exercise.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Okay, next is the municipal ticket information amendment bylaw. Mrs. Hilton.
Thank you, Mayor.
The number of short-term rentals in the community have continued to grow, and the lack of available housing for residents is a growing concern. There has been a significant increase in staff time dealing with short-term rentals. And below is an excerpt of the town zoning bylaw, which describes what a residential zoning is, what a dwelling unit is, and then how a family is defined within the bylaw. So the town has been responding to short-term rental concerns on a complaint basis. If the town receives a citizen concern, the town would respond to the alleged offending property owner with a letter requesting that they bring their property into voluntary compliance with the town's bylaw. If the compliance is not achieved, the town's legal counsel will be sending demand letters requesting that the owners comply with our zoning bylaw, business license bylaw, and good neighbor bylaw when it pertains to like a noise complaint or an unsightly premise. If we do not receive voluntary compliance. The bylaw officers would then serve a municipal ticket to the property owners who continue to violate the town's zoning bylaw. Currently, the town's municipal ticket information bylaw schedule 23 states a fine for unpermitted use in any zone is $500. And the fine does not seem to deter property owners from renting out their properties on a short-term basis. So staff are suggesting that the fee be changed to the maximum allowable of $1,000. If the offense continues beyond a date, each offense would continue as a considered separate offense. So options before council are that the municipal ticket information amendment bylaw number 1279/17/2022 be read a first, second, and third time. Number 2, that council refer the bylaw back to change it at staff for changes. Or 3, that council abandons municipal ticket information and then amended bylaw 1279/17. Implications to the community. Short-term rentals have been disrupting housing markets in Osoyoos and across Canada. Organizationally, staff time working on short-term rental infractions. And sustainability to the community, ensuring that there's a housing accommodation for residents in our community. And others consulted, the Director of Planning and Development Services and I have been working on short-term rentals in the community.
Thank you very much. I think this is very helpful and it's very clear here what we're going to do. So council, what is your, go ahead.
Well, I have a question. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess I see all these red here down at the bottom at 7.51 down, and they're all crossed out. So we're taking them all off the list. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, because it says within 12 months of conviction. So prior to that, it was $500, and then your next offense would be $1,000, and we're just going to do $1,000 every day.
Oh, but you striking out.
Yes, that means they're coming off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because it would just be the standard $1,000. That's just showing council what it would look like.
Sure.
So there is going to be no R1 zone or R2 zone.
Oh, no, so if you look on page 48, it
I
shows,
got 9 pages.
so there's a clean copy of the bylaw, which would probably be right before,
No. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
so it shows that there's an R1, R2,
Okay,
R3,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Go ahead, Councilor Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, have we compared this to other towns? Is this where we kind of come up with these numbers like?
This is the max,
$1,000
or this is the maximum allowable allowed under the community charter. And so in consultation with Director McKay, myself, and the town's legal counsel, we decided that $1,000 just the $500 fine is not seeming to deter the property owners. Either they're paying the fines or they're disputing them, and then which the town now has to go to court to dispute those infractions. So it's actually costing us a lot more than the tickets of $500.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Go ahead, Councilor Harvey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, just for information, the Strata Act and the regulations to the Strata Act were amended similarly, I think about 2 or 3 years ago to allow $1,000 per day maximum. And a number of strata that I'm personally aware of jumped on that and amended their bylaws to do $1,000 a day because waterfront strata, there was a lot of abuse and short-term rental, and so they jumped right on it. And anyway, it's consistent with what we see in strata now.
Good.
This proposal.
Thank you. Well, that's nice to know, isn't it? So, what, is there anyone, oh, go ahead, CJ, do you have a question or you?
No, thank you, Mayor McCorduff. I'm going to move the staff recommended option number 1.
Good. The municipal ticket information amendment bylaw number 1279.17/2022 be read a first, second, and third time. Is there
That
a
is
second?
correct, yes.
Councillor Bennett is seconding that. Are there any other questions about this, concerns? Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. That's unanimous. Thank you, Mrs. Hilton. And next we have some council meeting reports. There are 3 of them in there. Because we all went to, or Councillor Bennett, Councillor King and I went to UBCM. And so can we do the 3 of them together or do they have to be done individually? Mrs. Hilton. Can these 3 be done together?
Yes, they can
They
be one
can.
motion.
So it would be for me and for Councillor Bennett and Councillor King. Councillor Bennett, yours is a little bit less. Is that because you are paid by NMBC or yes, municipal insurance? And yes, for the one. So that would be the difference. Okay, so could we have a motion, please, to that the expenses for those 3 be approved? Thank you, Councillor Harvey. Is there a seconder? Councillor Rhodes. Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you, everyone. And so now we will ask for the CAO report, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, a few items to highlight. Attended the Inkmeet Desert Heritage Society fundraiser, which was a great event, and I encourage everyone to go up there and take a look at that new building. They've added on a new feature, as well as they've built a meeting room that I think is started operating probably right about now.
The new building hasn't been built yet.
The meeting room, the meeting room.
The meeting room that they have in the back. Yes, yes.
And a new feature.
And the pit house too.
Pit house,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that was
I don't
cool.
want to say it.
That's, I think that's what it's called.
So I think that was a highlight. I also had a few meetings with RDOS CAO group in Penticton, which was great to meet some other CAOs, and the full day meeting. And there are various other groups like Destination Suits and the Solis Indian Band as well. Some of the other highlights are, just want to give some plugs here to some events. The Halloween Howl is likely going to be occurring this year, and so hopefully it's a great event, and it always is. So that's being planned as we move forward. The new skate library should be fully installed by the end of the week, so that's another great event where a lot of they'll accept unused skates and they'll be donated. Corporate services, got the election going on. Again, I'll make a little bit of a plug for October 12th is the advanced voting opportunity, and that'll be held right here in council chambers from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then the big day of October 15th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Sonera Community Center. And they're also doing some work on some short-term rental enforcements on a few properties. In regards to the fire department, some good news there. They after a few months of working on the emergency radios, there's been some issues there. RDOS has agreed that there's some connectivity issues, and they've agreed to purchase some new radios. So it'll be no cost to Town of Vesuvius, but we'll be getting new radios, and that's a good news story. And it's Fire Prevention Week, and invite anyone from the public to come down to the fire hall tomorrow between 6 and 8. Learn about fire prevention and fire safety, and maybe we can even stop by for a burger. Fire Chief Corbiner and his crew are serving out some burgers. Within planning development, I would like to mention new businesses. There are 3. in the past few weeks here, AZ Pro Carpentry, CA MERJ-PH, another new business, and Eastside Comics. I don't know how to say that, but
Neither do I. So I'm glad you did that. Thank you.
someone's like to highlight the new businesses. And from the public works perspective, they're busy, obviously changing of the seasons. I know there's a lot of talk on a Pioneer Walk Mountain. It's getting close, the electrical's 80% complete and waiting on lighting and final commissioning, so we're still, I think, hoping for the end of the month that to be up and running. COVID is creating a lot of issues on the supply lines, so it's not like the several other projects and things that we're waiting on, it's just a delay. Legion Beach, the pathway was paved. There is a section missing to accommodate the irrigation work, so just basically getting calls there, that was thought out, so we're going to tear it up in the spring to do the irrigation work. The beach cleaning machine is out of service and we're waiting on parts. That's been for a few weeks, so that's again another piece of equipment that we're waiting on parts. And the other thing that we're doing is maybe by the end of the week or all of the week, there's going to be more information on our water situation. There's a big information, a lot of information provided a couple of weeks ago to cancel a special meeting. We're putting that information into some brochures in the web. So we're getting closer to finalizing that. Accompanying that material will also be some ads that will be playing on the TV and radio. So hoping the end of the week, but things take longer than you think, so it might be the following week. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Risling. And does anyone have any questions, concerns? Okay, could we please have a motion to receive the CO report? Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor? Thank you. Now we'll look to council reports. Councillor Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. September 29th, I also attended the Spear Ridge fundraiser. And September 30th, went to the National Day for Truth and flag raising in Oliver, which is really neat to see the Surrey Singing Band, and they have something to look for extra poll we have here, because we're dealing with no ID. Then October 3rd, I had Trails of the Okanagan meeting, and we're continuing discussions with our US counterparts. So continuing the trail from the Soyuz to Bristol, Washington, and we rescheduled until after the election. And we're having a virtual AGM for the trail on October 17th at 7 p.m. And that's my report.
Good, thank you very much. Councillor Harvey.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Wednesday last week, I attended the final ORLB meeting for the year, where the budget for next year was approved pretty much as discussed in my previous report, because we had two meetings back to back because of the election. They're very close to back to back.
Okay.
That's the only meeting report, but I did want to take the advantage of the opportunity, and those in the room and Councillor Rhodes know, and anybody watching may or may not know, but I'm not running for council next time around. So I wanted to take this opportunity to say how much I enjoyed working with this council, how much I enjoyed working with staff, and how much I respect the work they've done for council. And for the voters of this town and the residents, it's been an honor to serve.
Thank you very much for saying that. You might want to say it again because you have one more meeting.
Oh, you have one after the election? Okay, I didn't know, but
You already said it once.
well,
But,
it's too late. One time only. That's it. That's all.
well, we'll let somebody else say it the next time. I
I'll
believe it's on the
I'll skip the next
25th.
meeting.
Okay, it's the 25th is still a meeting with this council. Okay. I had exactly the same thing, Councillor Harvey. I was all ready to do that as well today, and then I thought, no, we have one more. Okay, so thank you. Councillor Rhodes, you're next.
Thank you, Mayor McCorduff. I don't have anything to report, and thanks for that information about the next meeting. I was thinking that this was the last one.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to talk a little bit better in my report at that meeting.
Hope that you're doing better and that you're able to attend the next one for sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Also attended up at Spirit Ridge, the fundraiser for the cultural center. Attended up in Oliver, the flag raising there with Councillor Bennett and the mayor. But I think the exciting part was the accessibility and age friendly committee last week. Just to let the people know, they have secured a tent and they will be at the Halloween Hollow on October 30th, where they'll be displaying the trail rider and the movie chair for people that might be interested or have disabilities, where now they can actually go in the lake, or if they got a team of a couple of people, we go up some of our great trails up the mountain. It is very exciting. Also, the discussion, they thank you very much for the payment down at Jackstar Gardens, which is the splash park, to see that's done. And as it was the last meeting, I want to thank them all for volunteering their time for the past year, and stay aware, the people out there, that there will be an announcement coming up next month looking for new members on the committee. We had a great year. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much to all of you. I was, as I mentioned, at Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting on October the 4th, and then I spent in the RDOS final meeting on October the 6th, and that was in Penticton. And then I was at a 2-day meeting with ETSI-BC, which is Economic Trust of the Southern Interior. And fortunately, it was in Osoyoos at Walnut Beach. So we were able to all meet. This group goes from Thompson, Okanagan over to Hope and all the way to the Alberta border. So it's a huge area, the Columbia Kootenay plus the Thompson, Okanagan. And there are several of us that are directors on that, and we try and meet not just on Zoom, but maybe twice a year on Zoom and twice a year in person. And this was a great opportunity to showcase Osoyoos, and Kelly Glazer from Destination Osoyoos was there presenting. So was Denise Blasco from the South Okanagan Chamber, and our CAO was also there and was introduced. And so it was a good meeting for 2 days, and that will now switch to a new board likely, although there could be some people on it, and that will be in December, the next meeting for that one. So I was glad that the CAO mentioned the open house for Fire Prevention Week. That's tomorrow at the Osoyoos Fire Hall. And of course, I was also at the OIB fundraiser up at Spirit Ridge and with the Desert Cultural Center. So it was a very nice evening. And the nice thing is that all of the events that we've been to in the last month have been basically shorts and sandals weather. So we've been very fortunate to have all of these things when we've had good weather. So please remember that there is voting here tomorrow in Town Hall, and then Saturday it is at the Sonora Center, and it goes both days, goes from 8 to 8. And I'd just like to encourage everyone to make sure that they come out, make an informed decision and vote. So thank you very much, and we will. I will now move that pursuant, or we'll have somebody move and second, that pursuant to section 91 of the community charter, a part of a council meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered relates to or is one or more of the following. Section 91F, law enforcement, if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the conduct of an investigation under or enforcement of an enactment. Number 2 is 91G, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality. And 3, section 91K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are in their preliminary stages, and then in the view of the council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. So could I have that moved and seconded, please, that we go in? Thank you, Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you, everyone.